And here we have Transformers, Earthrise, War for Cybertron Trilogy, Decepticon, Airwave. And I gotta say, just from quick glance from him in the box, he looks fantastic. On the front, we're gonna go over the box. We got Transformers, Generations, Takara Tomy. We got the Decepticon faction logo right there. On the side, we got the air base. It's being fired upon, and here's the control tower right here. That's a nice touch. Now, let's flip to this side. Got the Decepticon logo again. Transformers WFC. Galvatron floating in space. Flip to the back. We got Airwave. Takes 12 steps. Transform, separate. And then he's going to come down here and he's going to turn into the air base in 8 steps. And then over here, it shows that we can use the Battle Masters that can transform into shields, but also they can connect and become a ramp. And we're going to show that off then too. So, with that being said, that's all I got for the package. So let's get Airwave out of that box and see how awesome he really is. Okay, we got Airwave out of the box and in airbase mode. And I gotta say, this modulator for Earthrise is pretty impressive. From the last couple we have gotten between Ironworks and Grease Pit, just to name a few, this one, I think this is going to be the standout here. And this is very cool. Just to bring up really close, we got the nice molded details on both sides of the runways here. And these are awesome. Now we got that 32 there. We got the Decepticon logos. We're going to keep going down the strip. Going to get closer to the main control building. And here's the control tower. And I think that's pretty impressive too. And a nice molded detail across here. Very impressive. The only thing that's kind of standing out is the Airwave's head there, but that's okay. At least they put something on the back like silver, so it kind of looks like it's not like control spot or something, or a garage door. And on the back, Airwave's chest, standing out. But for a $20 value, just for this mode alone, from robot mode to this, that's pretty cool. We got some nice molded detail here on the top. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We're going to go around. We're going to get the sides there. We even got like tank treads here. So it looks like this, and it's got wheels. So we're going to take a look at that in a moment. All this nice molded detail under here. Pretty cool, but the tank treads, they look really good. Let's look under it. I'm going to get to the other side too. We got 5mm ports all over the place. And that's cool too. This is a little hollow, but that's okay. More tank treads. We got wheels on them. That's cool. And we're going to see if this guy right here, hey, he can glide along. This is like more of a standalone base for the Decepticons, for the Micromasters. This one doesn't really have any other attachments because they kind of put these on the end here to make it a solo piece. So he actually has a form where he doesn't have to combine with anything else, which is pretty cool. It's nice that they add that little touch there. And also, we got Battle Masters here. We got Roller Force and Groundhog. And I gotta say, these guys are awesome. So this guy can be the carrier and just travel along until you gotta deploy Battle Masters to help out the Decepticon army. That's pretty cool. So, with that being said, let's get a comparison here with Airwave. Decepticon Airwave next to Generation Select Grease Pit. And just to give an idea how big Airwave is in this first airbase mode versus Grease Pit for a gas station, that's not bad. That's pretty impressive. So that's pretty cool. The only thing is, with this airbase mode, the only way this guy can connect, because we got the connectors, and connectors over here, to this, I'd have to take this off, which you can. I'd have to take that whole piece off, and then you can connect that. But I think this is more for a standalone base, not for connecting for that. But if you want to, you just turn this guy to the side, lift this up, bring this over about here, and just leave it just straight. And as long as you don't press on it, they can sit there just fine. And still fuel up, come over, and then deploy with the airbase, which is Airwave. So, with that being said, let's get into the transformation to airbase number 2. Okay, now let's start the transformation from airbase 1 to airbase 2. So, this is what we're going to do. You're going to take this off, set it to the side. Every piece you're taking off, you're still going to use it. Just going to go somewhere else. Real simple. So set those 3 to the side. Now, going to come to the underbelly here, so to speak, and you're going to just turn that, and then you're going to turn this, just like that, okay? That's going to free this up to get this arm out, because if you try to get this out, these tabs will prevent you, so that holds that, locks in place, okay? So, that being said, let's just get this out of the way, set that to the side. That's going to stay exactly the same. Nothing's going to change with this piece, so just leave it right there. Now, these two are also going to come off. Set that to the side. And finally, I'm just going to slide that off like that and just twist and turn. Keep it simple so we don't damage the pegs. So we'll just keep that just like that. Set that to the side. These ramps, just straighten them out. They are staying just like this. So now you're going to take this piece with this leg, this hole, this peg, just like this. Boom. We're just going to straighten it out a little bit. So you should have the tank tread on this side, just like that. Okay? Now we're going to do the same thing. Come over here. Oh, here's the foot. Hole, peg. Simple enough. It's kind of hard with the camera right there. Perfect. Nailed it. So, we got that. Now, you're going to flip them upside down. We're going to take this arm, and it's weird because with this arm, just wanted to show this off. This is in with a pin. This one is in with a 5mm port hole. And that's in there. I'm not going to even attempt to remove that. So, just going to lock that back in, okay? Keep it still. This is just going to go under this. It's going to peg into here. So, just flip them around this way. So then, oh, I'm sorry, this way. No, it's that way. There we go. Yep, I was right the first time. Just like that. Okay? But, you're going to turn this way. Okay? So that's going to be your Decepticon logo for this mode. Cool. So now, let's get this arm. This is just going to go under just like this. And I'm just going to raise up just a little bit with that peg. Right there. Okay, we're almost done. Got another step complete. Now, this one and this one, they're exactly the same. There's nothing different about them, so it doesn't matter which one you use for what. No big deal. So, this one is going to go over here. It's just going to do that. Really simple. This is going to flip upside down, go into this, line these two up, turn it around, and it's going to go right here. Just like that. It can go into this port or this port if you prefer that, but this is what the instruction says. And now, this is Airbase 2 Airstrip. Grease pit next to Airwave in Airbase 2 mode. So now, with this mode being changed from being a single standalone aircraft-like carrier kind of mode to now this frees up where we can combine. So we're going to take Grease Pit here, and we're going to get them combined here to tie in with Airwave. And I gotta say, that's really cool. So now we're gonna bring in Roller Force and groundhog one more time. And now, basically, they can drive up. We're just going to park them right up here. Fuel up. And then he could be on his way that way. And now, since we got that end freed up, just bring him down for a moment. Bringing in Slitherfang, which is another Battle Master, but he's also a ramp. And I did this review on him already, so if you watch my video, we already know what he's all about. Same goes for Roller Force, which he doesn't really hold together well, but Groundhog does. And now, I can't even get the whole shot in here, so let's just angle the camera back. This is getting pretty big. So now I got a gas station, I got an air base, and now I just added another ramp to tie in. Now I'm pretty much ready. I got a Decepticon gas and air base go, man. So we can refuel. I'm just gonna leave Roller Force right there. He's pretty fragile, like Hasbro gotta fix that, but that's for another time. You got Roller Force, Groundhog here. And now he's on his way to go carry out missions. Now, we're just going to put I'm calling him Roller Force. Groundhog, that's actually my favorite out of the two. Now we have these two guys, which is Visper and Stormcloud here. And Visper. And we can put them on the ramp. They can fuel up, and then they can launch fighter jets one at a time and take off. And we can adjust this like they're gonna shoot up and start flying up in the air and take on like airstrikes and everything, which is pretty cool. There's so many things you can do with these things, with these modulator bases. And this is in his final base mode that he can make. Now, there's one other thing. He is blast effect compatible in only certain areas. So here he is. There's nothing along these ramps, airstrips, where you can peg something in, and neither on Grease Pit there, but certain pegs you can. So I just wanted to show that off, but obviously the ramps do come compatible with that, because you can at least blast here. Transform Airwave into his artillery mode. So, what you're going to want to do, you're going to take the tower off, set the pieces to the side like we always do here for modulators, just like that. You're going to take leg off, and we're going to just roll the other one off, come around to the back, take this off, and we're going to fix this. Go. Lock that in. We're going to need that just like that later. Keep this the way it is. Going to come over here. Going to roll that arm off. We're just going to leave it just like it is. Set it right there. Now, this piece has to come off. There we go. Set that there. Set this here. Now we're going to take this arm, and we're going to connect it right here, just like this, okay? There we go. Second piece. That one don't want to go in. There we go. Okay, so we have this much so far. Next, we're going to take his feet, and they're going to bend this way, one at a time. Don't take them both at once. They're a little tight. So now you should have something that looks like this. Okay? Then you're going to take this piece, flip it this way. Simple enough. Hole, peg, peg. Lay it in there. We're going to get tank treads here. like I said, we're going to be building an artillery unit here for Airwave. So it should look something like this, just to give you guys an idea. No problem there. Now, so now we're at this part. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to get one step ahead of this. Turn this down, turn this over. And you're just going to set that right back to the side, okay? Real simple there. Now, you're going to take this apart. Right here, right in the middle. And they're hard to get off. But once you do, it'll work. Now you're going to take this piece, and you're going to see these two blue tabs right here. You're going to come up to the figure here, pieces of them. You're going to peg that right in, just like that. So it's going to be like this. Okay, set that down. Now you're going to take this part, turn it around. Now you got peg here, hole and hole. Put them together. Might have to straighten that out a little bit, but they will go. So, click and done for that part. Okay, now you're going to take this part, come back here, you're going to untab. Come on, there we go. And like I said, I already had this preset, so this is just going to go right here. Just like that. It's just supposed to sit there. It doesn't peg in. It's just for aesthetic purposes. Now, I'm going to take this part, come over here to his hand, and peg this in. And I think we can get the peg under. Yep. So we're going to do that. Now we're going to get the guns. And we're going to peg them in right here. One for each. And there is the artillery mode that I like to call it. There's some kind of other name for it. I don't care for what they call it. So this is what we're going to call it. And there's that. Not my funnest mode, but it's interesting. I was expecting the turrets themselves to like move up and down, which you can't because this piece is going to block them. You can kind of get them a little bit, but it's not going to go. It kind of defeats the purpose of that. But that being said, let's get one more comparison with Grease Pit. And I'm just going to bring them in real quick. We're just going to do that real fast just to show off a modulator next to a modulator. So I think that's pretty cool. But now, let's get into something else. And that is blast effects. I gotta say, they are compatible. But, like I said, with this mode, this is much leeway you get with, unless you maybe go like that and you kind of tilt it up like that and you can fire it in the air and stuff with this thing. But you're using this piece to do that. So you got to bring that down. But if you want to do it, do it. I would. Get more range. One little cool nifty thing. Just thought I might add in there. Now for the transformation to. And here we have Airwave disassembled from artillery mode. I dubbed. And laying in front of me, disassembled. And here I just want to give a little shout out to these instructions that these work. So make sure you pay attention to this because they have all the modes that I've shown so far, and eventually we're going to do the robot mode in a second here, all in this book. So I think that's really cool that they did that. Instead of giving us secret modes and we got to figure it out for ourselves. But sometimes that is fun too. But let's get into it. And first thing I'm going to do is this piece here is for this leg. So the 32 is going to be for the left leg, okay? You can't just take this piece and put it to this leg. It won't work. You have to have this specific piece to do it. So, that being said, Let's see, just to make sure I got it right. Yep. Connect it right here. Fold it down, kind of guide it down, and there's that hole there and that peg. They're going to line up, they're going to go together perfectly. Just kind of baby it in there. Click. We got a leg. Set it to the side. Leg number 2. Same thing. Make sure the tread is more towards the front because you're going to have that blue just like this one. Okay? But opposite leg. So, you're going to come up here, tab together, pretty simple. Bring it down, guide it. We got that hole, we got peg. Bring it down, let's get it in there. And I kind of just got to nudge that up a little bit. There we go. So that's going to click in. Got another leg. Set that to the side. So, we're going to set the legs right there because we're going to get ready in a moment here. It's getting closer. And let's see here. There's the screws. So this got to be the front. But you would think this would be the front. So, oh, I know why. Here we go. Caught that. That's from the transformation. I didn't take it apart. So, make sure the screws, or these peg holes, screws, pins, are all on the back. Flip it around. Make sure this is the front. Okay? Screws. That's the back. This is the front. So, the figure here, peg in. Take this, peg in right there. So now you got legs, and we got that all connected. Now we're going to come to this piece. And something I wanted to mention, and they do have this in the instructions. When you're doing the transformation for Airwave, they want you to turn his head around because this is the front. And when I was doing that multiple times, you kind of have to wiggle it to get it to turn around. He does, maybe it's just my copy, and just so you know, he does have yellow eyes. I just wanted to make that very clear. It's hard to see, but he does. I thought this little piece in the middle there, I thought he was just like a Cyclops looking guy, but he's not. He has those eyes, which is pretty cool. So, now, let's get this guy connected. Get this far, and I have as well. You're going to get to this arm, so you can open it up, and he has his arm right there. So you're going to take that, peg, hole. Really simple. Just make sure it's snug. There we go. So now, we got the Decepticon logos ready. Now we're going to come to this side. This is his other arm. Oh, turn that around, I'm sorry. Go right there. Peg in, turn, right there. There's his other hand. Oh, I should say arm. He doesn't have a hand, but he will have these two pieces right there. And one of them is going to go into his shoulder right here, which is pretty cool. All right. Now this one, it's going to peg in just like this. Okay. Then we're going to give him a gun. Right there. Oh yeah. Here we go. We finally got Airwave in robot mode. And I gotta say, with those eyes, they look awesome. The face sculpt that they have, the molded detail, they did a really good job with the silver. I just wish the yellow was just a little bit brighter, maybe give him some light piping, but he doesn't have that, and I'll flip him around just to show. Just as a peg hole. Okay? But that's okay. I like the colors on this guy, the orange, and he has that dark blue to go with it, with this, this light gray. It's pretty neat. And then we got the black for the treads, his gun, got the black up here. And then he's got this detail in here on his chest. They really did a good job with him. It's really impressive. Looks like gunmetal gray, if I'm not mistaken. I like the molded detail they did for his chest. And then when you come down here, it looks like more gunmetal gray. It's really impressive what they did with this figure for a $20 value. And on the back, we got more of the blue. We already seen the molded detail there, but there it is again. Come down here, and he's a little hollow in the legs here, but that's because of the transformation. And honestly, for how many modes we got, official modes, you can't beat it. I'm really impressed with this figure. He looked great when he was coming up on the pre-order, but I didn't think he'd be able to do all this by himself. But I got one more thing. Let's get a comparison and see how cool Airwave is in robot mode. So, start this. I'm gonna take his arm, full 360. Yep. He's got the full 90-degree elbow bend. And raise this up because this pin's really tight, and he kind of, this time it worked. Raise the shoulder up, arm, and right up there like that. Perfect. This one only goes so far. Elbow to bend, 90 degrees. You got that little peg there, so be careful with that. I'm gonna raise his arms up just a little bit, just to help me with the waist rotation. He's gonna spin all the way around. Okay, since he's a modulator, he has the ability to do that. Alright, so we got that out of the way. Now, let's go over here and see if he has knee bend. Oh yeah, and he can bring his leg all the way back too. And he can obviously knee forward, 90 degrees. He can definitely kick somebody in the head. I think he even can kick Megatron in the head. But that's his boss, so we're definitely not going to do that. Maybe Optimus Prime. And then he does have ankle tilt. And it does click like that, but that's for the transformation. Ankle tilt. Perfect. Can this guy do the splits? Yeah, pretty good. I'd say pretty good overall. Not bad. And his head can turn and do the transformation. He can nod a bit. Can it turn all the way around? Yes, but it can catch on this plastic around. You got to be careful when you're doing the rotation for the transformation. I did notice that. But that's it. Now, let's get into... Hey guys, I don't need 3 scrap face in here. You guys got to beat it. I was going to bring in Grease Pit because he's a fellow modulator, and I want to get a size comparison with him. I don't need 3 scrap face. You guys got to go. And here's the true comparison I was trying to do, but Scrapface and his clone seem to just want to show up and just do whatever they want. Thank God they left. But here is Airwave and Grease Pit next to each other in robot mode, and they look great together. I gotta say, they're fantastic. I really like Grease Pit. I know he's Ironworks remold, retooled a little bit. And now we got Airwave here. That's part of the Earthrise line, and I hope he makes an appearance in the show. He'd be fantastic. And I got one more comparison. And here is Airwave next to Grease Pit and Voyager class Walmart exclusive Netflix Megatron. And just wanted to show where Airwave stands up to a Voyager class. And there is a little bit difference there. But that's okay. Because he's not smaller like a regular deluxe. Like we saw when Scrapface, decided to show up on his own. So we know how tall he is. And I gotta say, this guy's awesome. But that's all I got for the comparison. My final word and review on this figure, Decepticon Airwave. He's like a diamond in the rough. Like, I wasn't expecting this guy to be that good. I highly recommend him. I have no issues with this figure whatsoever. He's got the Decepticon logos. I like every single one of his modes. I know the artillery mode I dubbed, I would say that needs a little bit of work. But for what else he can do, what else can you ask for? So my final thoughts are, pick him up. You will not be disappointed with this figure. And I know they're making a remold of this guy. We already know, we got the news. Hot House. And they're going to use Airwave and then remold them into Hot House and retool them a little bit. And I gotta admit, I was a little about that. But if this guy can do all that he can do, I think we should give the Hot House Generation Select figure another chance. I think I'm going to. But that's for another time. So, the review is, this dude's badass. Pick him up. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, that's it for my review here. So, leave a comment. Give me your thoughts on this figure. And I'll see you guys. Next review, I'm going to be taking a look at Transformers, Earthrise, War for Cybertron Trilogy, Cybertronian Villains, Wingspan, and Pounce. I'll see you on that review.